Well, the Reagan Foundation was very honored when the Tournament of Roses extended an invitation to have the first ever presidential-themed float in the Rose Parade. 2011 is President Reagan's 100th birthday, as we all know, and February 6th will be the actual birthday. But we wanted to kick off the year in a great and grand way, and what better way than the Rose Parade for the granddaddy of them all in the Rose Bowl here in Pasadena, California.
Jelly Belly is sponsoring the Ronald Reagan Centennial float along with the Reagan Foundation, and this is such a great thing for us as a company. We've had a long history with Ronald Reagan going back to 1966 when we were supplying him with our gourmet mini jelly beans.
We've been very involved with the Reagan Library. We wanted to see that the president would be known around the world forever. And it's really difficult because I think that too many people don't realize what he really did for the world, what he did for our country.
About a third of the people born in the United States weren't even alive when he was president, which is awfully hard to believe. So it's up to us to tell people if you agreed with his politics or didn't agree with his politics, people respected him for the man, and people respected him for the hope that he portrayed for everyone in the country.
Most people, of course, know him mostly as the President of the United States, but he had a long, wonderful career prior to that. He's lived a very interesting life, and the more I've even researched and studied about his earlier life, it's fascinating, the steps and the processes which led him to the presidency. They all fit together perfectly like pieces of a puzzle.
Well, as a young pup, my first job in Washington was in the Reagan re-election campaign in 1984, and then I had the privilege of working in the second term of the Reagan administration.
I was given an opportunity to start as an intern. I worked for him thinking I'd be there for 3 months and stayed for 10 years and had the privilege and honor of a lifetime to serve directly as his personal assistant, sit right outside his door for 6 of those 10 years. President Reagan was just a kind, humble man. Sometimes we'd be in position, the drum roll would come, the announcement would come, Ronald Reagan, 40th President of the United States, the curtain would open, and he would refuse to walk in front of a woman. So he would stand there and go like this and let me go in front of him, even sometimes in an offstage announce position.
In 1981, I was invited to come to the Oval Office and meet with the president. And he told us about how he used the beans and how he'd been using it since he was governor and all the way, into his presidency. And then the next thing, he's looking in the back of the office and he's laughing. And we look back over there and here's George Bush digging in this big, tall Waterford crystal jar, looking for his favorite bean, licorice also.
When I was quite young and he was governor of California, we were invited as a family to come up and see Reagan in Sacramento. We still have that picture on the wall in our offices today in Fairfield, California.
I do have the distinction of being the only Jelly Belly employee that we know of who was at Ronald Reagan's inaugural parade. It's probably one of the most exciting things I had done and have ever done since then.
Well, Ronnie and with Nancy, we were RKO people, starting back when I was young. I was on TV and we got to meet each other on the lot. So for me, it's like doing a full circle. To be the supervisor and decorator of his float, honoring his birthday, is a real honor for me.
Well, it was quite a birthing process over the past few months, and we are here. It's complete, and just moments ago, we found out that we won the National Award for the best depiction of life in the USA.
When we saw that float coming down the route, I got chills up my spine, and it represented freedom. It represents democracy of this country, and it represents learning for our young people.
The float was beautiful. It turned out better than we expected, and the reaction that it got from the crowd was just amazing.
And I could tell that the crowd loved it, and everybody around us loved it, and everyone stood up and cheered, and it was a nice patriotic moment. Well, we're going to continue the entire year. We hand out samples all over the world, and every one of the samples will have the Ronald Reagan story on the back. We're going to support the library and all the endeavors that we do. We're going to do lots of events throughout the year that support the legacy of Ronald Reagan and everything he's done for our country, and we will continue to do that for as long as we are going.
This is just a great way to continue to make people aware that this is his 100th year, and for all that he's done and continues to do, we want generation after generation to feel his inspiration, and that's what we aim to do.
He was out of office when I was born, but just from hearing the stories and the interviews, just an incredible man that he is from what he was trying to do and did for our country. So being that we got to be a part of it was just incredible. So I'm pretty influenced by that.
In honor of the Reagan Centennial, we have created some new products. One is our 50 flavor gift box, which has the Constitution printed up in it, as well as some memorable quotes from Reagan. And we think that this will be a great way to keep the Ronald Reagan legacy alive.
And the materials that are in this wonderfully, beautifully packaged Jelly Belly box help do that, and we're very grateful for that.
And we're going to sell products with his depiction on it, and then we're going to take a portion of those proceeds and give it back to the library and the foundation to continue the work that they do.
We supplied 1 million packets of beans, and then we have a little attachment on the back of the beans, and it talks about the accomplishments of the president. That's how important we feel it is for the world to understand what President Reagan has done.
We also have a 49 flavor Jelly Belly jar that is just like the jar that we sent to the White House when Reagan was there during the 80s.
And so that's what the president gave away during his entire 8 years of term. We sent him 500 to 1,000 jars a month. Every function, all of the people came in, all the dignitaries, all the people who visit the White House, he would present them this beautiful jar.
You figured probably every leader known to mankind ate Jelly Belly, was given Jelly Belly from Ronald Reagan, put them on a desk. If they ever met in the White House, they ate them. And you know what the man always said? You could tell a lot about a guy the way he eats his jelly beans. And that's true. That's still true today.